Hey you, shout out to you. It's 2025. Happy New Year. We made it another year, baby. I'm so excited. Welcome back to Booking with Starr. I am your host, Starr, of course. Being that it is January 1st, 2025, we are going to go over all of the reads that I read in December. Before we get into that, I did not make a video doing my end of the year tag. I really wanted to, but I didn't get around to it. And I was wondering, like, can I still do it? Because, you know, it's January 1st now. And we in a whole new year. So I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do all the full-on questions, but I am gonna let you guys know my best read of 2024 and then my most disappointing read of 2024. And we're gonna move on into all the books that I read in December. Okay. After staring at my bookshelf and looking at my reading journal, going through all of the 5-star books that I read, which I posted a video about that. So if you want to go check it out, all of my 5-star reads of 2024, I will put it in one of these corners, okay? But after further discussing it with myself, I decided to give the crown for best read of 2024 to my girl Immortal Dark by T. Gurma. This actually opened up a world for me where I want to go explore more vampire romances, more vampire gangster books. It's actually so funny to go off on a tangent really quick. Me and my girlfriend was watching this video. It was like Sean Paul, and he had like his fang teeth were super elongated. We started to talk about how he probably got that done, like those aren't his real teeth. And I was like, I like it. I think it's real cool. She was like, you like that? You think it's cool? I'm like, yeah, he looks like a vampire. And I thought to myself, like, I've been reading too many vampire romances. Yeah, my girl got the crown for 2024, so give it up for her. All right, now, when it comes to my most disappointing book of the year, I have to give it to Lovecraft Country by Matt Ruff. Now listen, was this the worst book that I read all year? Literally, no. But the reason why she is taking the L for 2024 is because I went into this book with so much excitement, so much awe. Like, I was amped up to read this because the show, I absolutely love Lovecraft Country. I watched the show way before I started my reading journey. So when I got into my reading journey and I seen that it had a book, I was geeked. Like, oh my gosh, this is about to be so amazing, because we all know the saying that the book 9 times out of 10 is always going to be better than the movie or the show. I want to tell y'all that this proved that statement absolutely false. The show changed so many details. There was so much more gore and things that happened in the show that did not take place in this book. And I was so disappointed. If I would have never seen the show and went into this book, I could have enjoyed it much more. But the fact that I did see the show first and then I went to read this book, so she has to take the L of the most disappointing book of 2024. Okay, guys, so now that that is out the way, we are going to get into my December recap. I read 10 books in December, so let's talk about them. Just a little intermission. If y'all hear my daughter in the background, that's because that's her room right there, and she's playing video games. I keep telling her to be quiet, but y'all know how that go. All right, back to the video. So first up, we got That Time I Got Drunk and Yeeted a Love Potion at a Werewolf. I gave this 3.5 stars. This is a monster romance. It was super cute. Listened to it around the house, on my way to work. I immersive read with it. So our main character's at this bar one day, and this guy who's super obsessed with her is basically trying to put this love potion on her. Somehow something happens where she gets it from him and she like throws it, and she ends up throwing it on our vampire here. Our vampire gets hit with it, but besides him getting hit with it, absolutely thinks that she is his fated mate outside of the potion. So they're going through that journey, her trying to convince him, like, you just like me because of the love potion, and him trying to say, girl, when this love potion go off, I'm still gonna be in love with your ass. It is a little spicy. We do have another plot where these women in the town are like getting kidnapped by these other monsters because they're like using their human magic to put another god in place or something like that. So we have that story going on as well. So it was cute. 3.5. The next book that I read, this is not in the order that I read them, but whatever. The Husbands by Holly. I don't know how to say this author's last name. Gramazoyo? I don't know. I really like this book. I thought the plot was very unique. I rated this 4 stars. We're following this woman who realizes that she has a magic addict that produces different husbands. She will send a husband up if she does not like him, and a new husband will come back down. I will say that I thought the story was a little dragged out. I think that the book could have been a little bit shorter. It's like, all right, girlfriend, pick a husband already and let's move on. I did enjoy like the different universes, because every husband that came out of the attic put her in a different universe. So she would have a different job, have lived a different life. Sometimes she would realize that by her changing this husband, she changed her sister's life. Like, her sister wouldn't have any kids. Just every husband was a different world that she had to encounter, and I really enjoyed that. Next up is The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I gave this book 4 stars. This is the first book in the series, and I'm definitely getting the rest of the books in the series because I really did enjoy this. I tabbed this baby up. In this story, we're following Cassie, who is a natural at reading people. With the tiniest details, she can tell you exactly who you are and what you want out of life. She gets picked up by the FBI, join other people who are like her, someone who's really good at reading emotions. We have another one who is a human lie detector test. We have another one who's really good with like numbers and statistics. Like, her brain is absolutely crazy. The facts that she was spitting out in this book, just like off the dome, was insane. We're following them as they help the FBI solve cases, and one of the cases that they come across is Cassie's mom, who has been unalived and missing for 5 years. When everything came together at the end, I absolutely ate this up. The Confessions of a Video Vixen by Corinne Steffens. I gave this book 4 stars. Following Corinne in her younger life, you know, dealing with her mom, dealing with the trauma that she had to deal with as a child, and then as she got older, she became a video vixen. She got into the music industry, and she just started spilling the tea about everybody. Okay, what I will say is that I thought the tea was going to be a lot more piping hot. This was really just about her story and what she was doing in the music industry. She did name drop a bunch of celebrities, but I feel like what she was talking about wasn't really anything super crazy. I remember the chaos that this book caused when it first dropped, and I just feel like it really wasn't. I just feel like the things that she was talking about really wasn't that deep on anybody else's part. The worst thing I can think about is a lot of them were married, so they're wives, but it really wasn't nothing like them Diddy parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I thought I was about to get into, but it wasn't that. But I did give it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I also read Frankenstein. I gave this book 3 stars. It was not my favorite. I'm just going to be 100% honest with y'all. I wanted to DNF this book so much. As it is a classic, I gave it its respect, and I finished it. It was boring sometimes, and then it will get interesting. It's not a long book at all, so I finished it 3 stars. The last couple of books that I read in December, I read on Rita. The first one being Product of the Streets 2. This is the second book in the series. I gave this 4.5 stars. I think these books just keep getting better and better and better. It's so much going on in these books that I can't even really tell y'all what's going on because there's just so much. This is an urban erotica, so it's very spicy. There are like 4 different love stories. We're dealing with drama, we're dealing with scandal, we're dealing with pumes, we're dealing with betrayal. There's so much happening in these stories, and I'm absolutely eating them up. I was trying to be in the spirit and read Christmas books in December. This is only 25 pages, and I absolutely hated it, okay? I gave it 2 stars. I'm really just not a short story girl. I need a story. I need more. And being that it was 25 pages, it just was like, okay. I think it's like about to be New Year's Eve or it's Christmas. I don't even remember. But he goes into this diner with this woman, and they get to talking, and then she realizes like that he was the pilot who drove the plane of her mother's unaliving, and then that's over, and then it's like a year later and she's like pushing him off a bridge. I don't know, some weird shit. 25 pages, so maybe I should give it grace. I don't know, but I didn't like it. 2 stars. Also read An Xmas Break by J.E. Ronnie. This was like a Christmas thriller. Absolutely hated it. It just didn't make any sense to me. We're basically following this girl who isn't very close with her sister. And then on Christmas, she gets like an invite to come out to this cabin in the middle of nowhere during the snowstorm. Her husband ends up convincing her to go. They go, and then shit just start getting weird, and somebody's an unaliver trying to get after them. And the person who was the unaliver, I just felt like it was just so stupid. I really didn't enjoy none of the Christmas books that I read, to be honest. The last Christmas book that I read was Twice on Christmas by McGarvey Black. This was the best Christmas book that I did read out of the 3, but I still didn't enjoy it that much. I gave this 3 stars. This was another Christmas thriller. I felt like it was way too long. It was like 300 and something pages, and everything in between, besides like the first 3-4 chapters and then maybe like the last 3 chapters, was the best thing. Everything else in between was just like so mundane. Following this girl who gets attacked on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, I think, like left to be unalive in the woods. She realizes that she is pregnant from the situation. She decides to keep the baby. The person who is doing this has an MO. They only attack women on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. They never catch him until like years later. I feel like it's like 10, 11, maybe like 11 years later, but everything in between, there's like nobody's really chasing him. It's just every Christmas or Christmas Eve they come tell her like, yeah, he attacked somebody else again. And then everything else in between is just like her mundane life, her raising her daughter, who was a little creepy. They were starting to write her as like having the same type of characteristics as her dad. It was just too long, to be honest. It was too long. It could have been way shorter, and it could have been more details about the case instead of it just popping up every year on Christmas. Like, oh yeah, he attacked again, and then that would be it. It was just, I just didn't like it. I should have fucking DNF'd it. But I wanted to see how it ended. I wanted to see who the person was. I thought that part was really good. I think it just could have been executed a lot better, and it could have been a little shorter, and it probably could have got like 4.5 stars out of me. But it happens. And last but not least that I read in December is Immortal Dark. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about this. I already gave it the crown for the best book of 2024. I talked about this book in my top 5 reads of 24. Chef's freaking kiss, okay? I love it. Whew. That is all the books that I read in December. We are in a new month. We are in a new year. Honestly, I think I only have like one definite book that I know that I'm reading in January, and that is Product of the Streets 3. Probably as soon as I get done from recording this video, I'm about to go hop into that book. Anything else that I pick up this month, you guys will know, maybe in a little reading update, or maybe we'll read together, or in my January recap. I'm not 100% sure, but before I go, I do want to show you guys some books and some little trinkets that I got for Christmas. I was gifted 4 books from my sister. Let me show y'all. We got Locked Door by Frida McFadden, One by One by Frida McFadden, Missing Persons by Jane Patterson. We got The Shining by Stephen King. If you watch my videos, you should know how excited I am to have this on my shelf, because I tell y'all, I'm going to keep telling y'all, I want all of Stephen King's books on my shelf. So I'm super excited that I got another one for Christmas, y'all. And then I bought these 2 things from Barnes & Nobles. They are bookmarks. Look at this one, y'all. Oh my gosh, it's so freaking cute. This is adorable. And then I got this one. Hold on. I always wanted a bookmark that's like this. It likes clamped to the, sorry y'all, it's like horrible. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. It like clamps to the page. I think that is so cute. And it says, I love books. I do. I'd rather be reading and read more books, cause period. All right, y'all, so that is the end of this video. This is my first video of 2025. My first, but definitely not my last. And like I always say, if you made it this far in the video and you are not yet subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. I hope that you had an amazing 2024. I hope that you have an amazing 2025. And I will see you in my next video.